Passing on Pitbull Radio here. Um, the Our regular segment, Jorge Jueves with Jorge Olivares, the host of Affirmative Reaction here on Sirius XM Progress. What's up, man?
I'm well.
You
How are
good?
you? Well, kinda. Like literally on the subway right here, I was going through, and this has been something that I've been doing since I worked at ABC because um, when I was living in Texas, I mean, I made an effort to keep up with the news, obviously, because I was a journalism major and I knew that that was the career I wanted to pursue. But when I started working at ABC, the first job I had was I was a desk assistant or digital news associate at World News with Diane Sawyer. And one of the things Diane would do every day, and I'm assuming she would still do it after I left, was she would ask everybody if they read the cheat sheet on the Daily Beast. And so it's become a habit of mine to read the cheat sheet.
They still do the cheat sheet?
What, a Daily Beast?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And so I think I just have it in my head. I was like, well, if Diane Sawyer thinks the cheat sheet's good, then I'm going to read the cheat sheet. So every morning I read the cheat sheet. And today, literally two stories that completely distress me and depress me and make me want to just scream. The first about news from the New York Times. It says that the current population of child detainees is upwards of 12,800.
Yeah, I saw that. Unreal.
And it's 5 times as many as last summer. And just that story alone is incredible in the sense that these kids that are stuck in these detention centers, it's because they've yet to find sponsors, or their parents, there's just no way of finding a way to reunite them. But when it comes to sponsors, the way the system works now is that the federal government wants to fingerprint those who would be sponsoring these children here in the United States. And because some of these sponsors are undocumented themselves, they're fearful as to what's going to happen to them, and which essentially leaves these kids in limbo. That in and of itself, crazy. The second story, even crazier, with the Catholic Church.
Oh my God.
Now, the German Catholic Church has said that for the span of, I think, 60 or 70 years, there was upwards of 3,000 sexual abuse cases, 1,000 or so clergy members involved in that, a lot of them with boys under the age of 13. And I talk very openly about my association with the Catholic Church on my show, but this is something that you have to understand.
Well, let's clear that up, because people may not know. I know it. Your association with the Catholic Church.
Oh, yes. So I talk very openly on my. That's a good point. I talk very openly on Affirmative Reaction about the fact that I grew up in the Catholic Church. I'm very involved with the church. Even now, I'm a part of the LGBTQ ministry at my local parish. So on the ground level, volunteering, that's sort of what I do with my own local parish. But of course, there is a distinction between the lowercase c church and the capital C church. In the capital C church, I have spent a number of years trying to figure out what I'm going to do with regards to my involvement in that. And when you hear stories like this, first the Pennsylvania case where there was thousands of kids interfered with there, and now in Germany, you don't have to be German. You don't have to be somebody who lives in Europe to understand that this is a distressing, horrible fact. And this is something that the Catholic Church is going to have to answer for and answer to, because even yesterday, there was news that the Pope was organizing this huge conference with a lot of the bishops to see what they're going to talk about. And I think this is the one, I mean, not the one time, but I think this is definitely a time where the Catholic Church is going to have to sit in it and just see that it's messing up. And it's doing irreparable harm to our children. And the people who were interfered with several years ago, who are now adults, who are now having to deal with the trauma of that experience, we're not doing enough, or the Catholic Church is not doing enough. The hierarchy is not doing enough to essentially do penance for their sins. And this is among the most horrible sins they could have ever done. So needless to say, coming on the subway, I was like, these are my news today. Ugh. And then, but it's okay because Puerto Rico's a success. Mark, I don't know if you've heard, I don't know if you've seen the wonderful pictures coming out of Puerto Rico.
Success.
But Harvey was good because Harvey had to do it with Texas.
Monogamous.
Monogamous.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. So I think the Puerto Rico stuff is part of Trump's continued attempt at denying the citizenship of brown people. Because remember, If the birth certificates of people on the border is being constantly denied, and people who want to renew their passports, they're going under a lot more scrutiny for no reason other than the fact that they're brown and live on the border. But here is Trump's attempt at saying that Puerto Ricans, even though they belong to a U.S. Commonwealth, that they shouldn't be helped or assisted in any way.
They call it a country because it's not a state to them.
Mm-hmm.
So he's tweeting about that this morning, about Puerto Rico.
I think so. I don't follow Trump. I've had this debate on my show a lot. Like, should we be following Trump, or should we just casually sometimes go to his Twitter page to see what's going on?
Casually.
I don't think I
It's
can.
day to day, case by case.
Yeah, I don't think
So
I can do the
since
whole...
we're talking, so this, listen to this: 3,000 people did not die in 2 hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico. When I left the island after the storm had hit, they had anywhere from 6 to 18 deaths. As time went by, it did not go up by much. Then a long time later, they started to report really large numbers, like 3,000. But it wasn't 3,000 when he got there. So he doesn't understand that hurricane deaths are not like literally who dies when the hurricane makes landfall.
Mm-hmm.
It's because hurricanes usually don't last like 5 minutes. So the effects, and then there's the
idiot. Yeah, like
he is an idiot.
It's sad that, and I'm hoping
idiot.
that a lot of people will, not even just Latinos, hopefully people in general will say, if you don't understand that there was a lot of elderly people who passed away because they did not have access to any of the things that are needed to, like,
right,
at the hospitals, electricity's out. How are you going to have all these generators? How are you going to have all these machines that are used to help people with their forms of treatment? How is that going to be possible? And so literally it was a bunch of, and there was horrible stories that came out afterward about these older folks who, if by all accounts, if everything was fine, if they had electricity, and if the response was the way it needed to be, they would still be here, but it wasn't. But it's okay because Trump threw paper towels at their heads, and he did the most. Oh, there's a new tweet.
3,000 people, like he even says like 3,000.
See one new tweet. Let's see. This was done by the Democrats.
The 3,000 deaths were done by the Democrats?
As bad as possible when I was successfully raising billions of dollars to help rebuild Puerto Rico. If a person died for any reason, like old age, just add them onto the list. Bad politics. I love Puerto Rico. Whoa!
This was done by the Democrats. So Democrats killed 3,000 people to make him look bad? Is that what he's saying? Looks like that's what he's saying. This was done by the Democrats. You all can see it on our stream. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube make it plain. We're on Instagram too, Minister with 2 T's. But then he says, hold it, this was done by the Democrats in order to make me look bad. What was done by the Democrats killed 3,000 people?
He's saying that the number, which is he's assuming is highly exaggerated, which it is not.
The Democrats made up the number?
More people died in Puerto Rico. Isn't the number higher than Katrina by like...
I think it is.
Twice? Isn't it like twice the number of Katrina deaths?
I think it is. Unreal. Yeah, hey, not twice. Do you want to catch all the NFL live action highlights and touchdowns every Sunday afternoon, want all that glorious football action without paying extra? Dish has heard your need for more NFL football and a bill that doesn't change. That's why Dish gives you a 2-year price guarantee and 1 season of NFL Red Zone from NFL Network at no additional cost. It's about time you get all the Sunday afternoon football you want without paying extra. Dish Listens is how they stay tuned in to you. The 2-year price guarantee applies to core programming and certain fees, requires credit qualification and 2-year commitment. NFL Red Zone and the multi-sport package included with packages starting at $69.99 and no additional cost through January 2nd, 2019. Other restrictions apply. To learn more, 1-844-CALL DISH, visit dish.com or find a local retailer.
Can I see kneeling on that, though? Like, if I get Dish, will I be able to see the players kneel?
It's a good question. Very good question. Yeah, Dish, we'll be able to see the players kneel. Wow. Democrats did that, folks. I don't know what he's thinking Democrats actually did.
Hold on. Can you please go back to his Twitter page so I can see something real quick? But like the main page. Okay. So for the longest time, I thought this egomaniac was following 45 people specifically. And I mean, I just thought, well, of course he's 45 and he's going to do whatever he can to highlight that number. So he was only following 45 people, but now he's following 47. So I don't know. My theory's off. But yeah, everyone will always tell you, even now, like that already has 30 for 50 responses. For the guy who called in and said that Brett Kavanaugh is not going to do anything bad for our country, this is the man who nominated him. And this is just terrible because now people are going to be focused on this story and focus on his tweeting and going to forget about the fact that thousands of kids are still in cages, that people are supposed to be voting in New York today. Yeah.
What are you going to be talking about on Affirmative Reaction this weekend?
So, Affirmative Reaction this Saturday, and it's like God made it happen this way, but this Saturday is the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. So, this Saturday, my show is going to be Latino as hell, and the first thing I'm going to do...
Hispanic Heritage Month doesn't start at the beginning of the month?
No, it starts on the 15th, and I've always wondered if it's because Mexican Independence Day is the 16th, and if it's trying to just play off of that. I should probably know that, but... we'll talk about it on Saturday. And
but you all go into the next month of October.
Yeah, so it's September 15th to October 15th.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And so literally all of my guests will be Latinos. The first hour I will be talking specifically about the news from the border, but also be sharing my conversation that I had with actor Raul Castillo, who's from the border. And in my power panel, my POV power panel, it'll be 3 Latinos. One is a writer who is a Dominican and I think Venezuelan. Yeah, I think she's both. And then actually my roommate who is Cuban, who works for LGBT advocacy. Advocism. Did I just make a word? I meant to say activism.
You did Trumpism on us.
Oh my God.
Advocism.
I kind of like that word, though. Can we make that word a thing?
Advocism.
Advocism.
Menominee. All right. So, how much time we got?
A minute.
Okay. Interesting calls. Michelle and I will say his last call, the Jim doesn't get it. You can be pro-choice and pro-life.
Yeah.
Frank in Pennsylvania says SCOTUS can't act as a legislative branch regarding decided law. Chris from Alabama says when a father decides he doesn't want to be with a woman, he has no say in reproductive decisions. I don't know if he has a say in it, period. Marlene in Ohio, next time a silly, stupid man calls about abortion, ask him how a woman gets pregnant. And Dana in Maryland, Trump is tweeting about Puerto Rico and the 3,000 people who died. I had to read all those, y'all, because we're out of time. I'm sorry. But I called you each one by name. And I read it. Please don't get mad at me on Facebook. Direct all of your concerns to pre-existing conditions sitting over here to my right. She's happy to take your calls. Pre-existing condition at SiriusXM.com. That is her email. No, I'm sorry. Pre-existing dot condition. Yes. Jorge Olivares, Jorge Jueves. Affirmative Reaction noon. No. 10.
Yes, Affirmative Reaction noon on Saturdays.
Saturday. If all minds are clear. I'm headed to D.C. It has been. I'm headed to D.C., y'all. If all minds are clear. See you at the Congressional Black Caucus. And another important event on Sunday. We'll have more about that for you on tomorrow. We're off the air radio now, but this is kind of a bonus thing y'all get on the stream. Affirmative Reaction, SiriusXM Progress 127, Saturdays at noon till 2.
Noon to 2 p.m.
Great show. Really great show.
Thank you, Mark.
Check it out. Very proud of this young man. And I've always kind of wanted to.
You've elevated me more than anybody else.
Contribute to his elevation.
I've appreciated that so much.
I didn't do much. I just, sometimes just putting people in front of people. You have the talent and the skill. I can't give you that. And I haven't taught you anything. You had it, and so I just want to say you all need to do this, because who am I I don't just do the self-promotion thing. I want other people to be successful. And we need diversity up in here. I
mean, let's be real. If you think about the SiriusXM Progress lineup, you have far more people of color, a lot of queer people, and that's just the hosts. Like, think about the guests that we all have. Like, we've definitely got all the diversity.
But see, when I first got here, though, that wasn't what was going on.
I know.
Okay. And it just hadn't evolved to that point yet. And so it was a big deal when I came on here as the first and only black host. And so I've been advocating. And I said it. I said, I'm not going to be like Omarosa. I'm just gonna be the only person of color in here, and the only woman, and the only black person, and nobody else is gonna be here. I was like, I'm gonna want to try to get some other people in here, and I'll be honest with you, it's not like I got pushback. Sometimes people just need to be presented with certain situations and shown that these are options. I've never gotten pushback. Everybody I've said, let's do this. There it was. So
nice.
All right, affirmative reaction. We're going to sign off, folks. Everybody say good day to Jorge.
Good day.
Any great. We're on Tuesday. This is Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right
That's
here.
cool.
And this is Instagram.
Dang, Mark.
So
you got it going on.
So we need to talk because we want to get you hooked up so you can do all of this.
Oh, yeah, this would be great.
He's on Facebook right now.
Yes, I do Facebook Live.
Yeah, which is cool. How much longer we going to have Facebook, though? I think Facebook's about to.
I don't know. I feel like
millennials like you are getting off of Facebook. Are you even active beyond you doing your live streaming?
I mean, I'll share a few like Mexican things that I see, like a few Mexican memes, like "We Are Me Too" or "Remezcla." If they'll do something, I'm like, my friend should see this. Other than that, I like scroll through and I'll see all my friends from high school and their beautiful babies and their marriages, and I'm not at all bitter.
And that's why I don't really want to go away, because that's one thing it's good for, connecting with people you don't get to see and sharing family. You know what else Facebook is good for? One of the blessings of Facebook is birthdays. Because you never forget birthdays, and when you ever want to remember people's birthday and wish them happy birthday, you can do that.
Yeah.
So I like that part. So maybe we just come up Facebook, everything goes away except birthdays,
just birthdays
and baby
pictures. That's fair.
Yeah, birthdays, and I know what our former board op Steenie Weenie would say: cats. Facebook, birthdays, babies, and cats.
Just like the little videos
kittens,
of cats.
Little cat videos. I never understood that. Then I started looking and said, "Oh, cat videos are kind of interesting."
Or like dogs playing with babies.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. What'd you say pre-existing?
No, I'm into the dogs and the babies.
Dogs and babies, okay. Glad to have you back from vacay. Y'all can't see her on the stream because she's not in that. But she's here. She's been on vacation. It's not the same without her. And glad to have her back here. Oh, did you miss us? Did you miss us?
She's like, I'm already out the door. What are you talking about?
I am somebody who prefers to be productive. So I was actually happy to come back to work.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I it's good when we're productive, but then when we're so productive, whenever we do something that's like 5% less, you're like, I'm not doing anything. I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything. It's like, well, you work fucking sorry. I do it all the time. You work like 50 hours a week. Why are you struggling to feel like you need to do something?
Oh, I talk about this a lot. I feel like I'm having this conversation a lot recently because I feel like the comparison factor is such a huge thing now with like seeing other people's productivity, and then you're like, oh my god, I am not doing a fraction of what that motherfucker's doing. And then you start freaking yourself out. But overall, like, yeah, I mean, when I went on vacation, I was maxed out, ready to be off. But then I'm ready to go back. Like,
that's true.
I always come back to that point of like, I need to be doing something.
Vacations are meant to be the limited time that they are.
You saw I interviewed Hillary Clinton while you were away. Did you even get to see that? Did you know that?
I did not.
You didn't know.
You didn't see the viral video of Mark interviewing Hillary Clinton in a car after the Aretha Franklin funeral?
It was beautiful, and people just
it was great. Everybody loved it.
And everybody's talking about, but she seems so. People said, and I never thought she was inhuman, but people felt like, she's always policy, and you got to see a very human, compassionate side of her. So somebody tweeted, what is that?
I just wanted to what?
Because you got real intense. Kind of nervous. I thought you would give us a hurricane update or something. I didn't know.
No, that's the one thing I always heard about her is that she's more, I hate to say human too, but more warm in person, one-on-one, in a one-on-one in-person setting in particular.
So somebody tweeted that only I could talk to at the same time, same day. Because I interviewed, 2 videos went viral that interviewed Hillary Clinton and Louis Farrakhan.
Oh.
So somebody tweeted that only I could talk to the most controversial woman in America and the most controversial black man in America in the same day.
Hey, that says a lot about you and your style and your ability to, like.
Thank you.
Sometimes it doesn't matter what people.
I should be on 60 Minutes, shouldn't I?
Can you imagine?
If I was on 60 Minutes, they wouldn't even let that happen.
Why not? Jeff Baker's out, so it doesn't matter. We can whoever the new EP of
This
60
is
Minutes
60
is.
Minutes. Can you believe it? Whenever
I could see you with the ticker in the back and and then it comes back and it's Mark's sitting profile I had a chance to speak with
Hillary Clinton and Louis Farrakhan.
Louis
Had them both sit down
Farrakhan
together.
and then you just turn when the camera just.
But that's what the
panning
funeral was
over the
like.
page.
Everybody was on stage. You had Hillary, Bill, T.D. Jakes, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Louis Farrakhan. It was just everybody just came together from every.
And you've interviewed 95% of those people.
Senator Debbie Stabenow. And I couldn't interview every couple people. I won't mention the names right now. Were a little disappointed that I didn't interview them, but I just couldn't interview everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't enough bandwidth and space.
That's cool though.
One person's spouse was even a little disappointed that I interviewed his wife rather than him. I'm like, but you spoke at the funeral. That's why you follow me. You follow me, Brittany. I said one person's spouse was a little disappointed that I interviewed his wife rather than him. Well, who were we just talking about? And so I said well you spoke. I said you spoke at the funeral, so I was kind of trying to.
Mm-hmm.
That was my point. We didn't hear from her.
And people want to hear from her at this point. Are you okay?
So,
are you going through the woods still?
I mean, I love her, but he was standing there like, you want to talk? I said, no, we good. I'm like, we can talk, but I already.
I don't know if you meant to do it, but you kind of did his voice. You're like, you want to talk.
And so he talked,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't recording it. I was like, well, I didn't want to step on the interview.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
thought about Brittany over there because she would enjoy that.
My when I was a student reporter at UT Austin, and this is when Hillary was still running against Obama, and there was a Hillary rally. So I went to the Hillary rally, and I had been talking to the organizer. Said I would really love a chance. I know I'm just a student reporter. I would love a chance to speak to President Clinton. And they said, oh, well, that shouldn't be a problem, whatever. So, of course, they keep dodging me all night. And then at some point it ends and I say, I came for my interview. So I rush towards where the PR person is. And then Secret Service comes in and says, can we, what's going on? I said, hi, I'm supposed to talk to this person. And I was promised the president. So they said, oh, okay, just wait here. I said, okay. And me being 19, I was like, they're totally going to come back. And then half an hour later, I was like, sorry, I'm so used to it now.
You're right.
But they completely just duped me. So I run outside to see if I can get any sort of opportunity. And so I do run outside, and thankfully he's coming around the corner, but I only have a chance to shake his hand and not ask a question. So that was my
You have your microphone?
I did, but because they were one of those Mr. Clinton, whatever, and they were
They was
moving him across.
And he was still in the White House?
No, this was
Okay.
2000. This is when Hillary and Obama were still fighting in the primary.
That was actually Queen Yonazda who tweeted that. Who else could talk to the most controversial people? So anyway, folks, we're gonna get right here. I got to get on a train.
Oh, that's right.
And
I'm over here what else do you want to talk about?
No, I mean I love talking. We got.
No, I know, but it's so fun. I keep forgetting. Your show's over. I got it.
But you know what I'd love to do, and I know you're busy. And you got a lot of guests, and you only got those 2 hours a week. But when you have a minute, I'd love to join you on your show.
Oh my God, yes, that makes the perfect sense. I would love to have that happen.
Because sometimes I think, can I be honest with you? Sometimes I think I'm a better guest than a host.
Why do you say that?
Well, as a host, or at least I think it's my duty to get poignancy and depth from the guest.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always about. See, some people use their own shows to talk about everything that's on their mind.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to use my show to get everybody else to talk about what's on their mind. I'm a moderator.
Yeah.
But only when I'm a guest, like if you're interviewing me
Mm-hmm.
or asking me a question, asking my position on something, do I feel like I'm really able to more so talk about in a more eloquent manner or in a more articulate manner, more thoughtful manner, I should say, what I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm. You're a journalist, right? You were a reporter first?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what helps because we already know as people who seek the truth and seek answers and seek responses from those who are in their related fields that we will never know all the answers, and that any attempt to make it seem as though we do know all the answers is just going to reflect badly on us. So we have the people who have the answers on our shows, or we do the interviewing because we know as reporters or as journalists or people who have come up with that background that there's information out there that we're not privy to that other people can give that information with, and just have different perspectives on stuff that, like, you and I will have a different perspective on Catholicism, religion, on faith, and on the importance of just a variety of different things.
Right. And it never sounds good to me when I listen to, particularly on the radio, hosts who compete with their own guests. Like, I've seen hosts we have Dr. Olivares here.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Olivares, how you feel about A? And then when you answer the question, well, I know about that too. You know, and it just, no, that's not, you're there to, if you got a show every day, you don't need to run your mouth. That's why, again, yesterday, the interview with Omarosa, she had to fight on the show before mine. If I wanted to make it about me, I could have got into an argument, but I wanted to interview her. I was trying to extract information from her. And some people might say, well, Mark, you should have confronted her and attacked her too. But if that would have happened, it would have happened organically, only because I was asking her for information about herself. You know, so but I'm saying that to say, you know, I'd love to come on and
that would be perfect. My thing is, and I think
share some things that
when you are a host, and this is my own personal opinion, I could be swayed either way, but I don't think I will with this particular thing. But like when you're a host, it's essentially like you're hosting somebody at your house. You don't bring somebody into your house with the intention of kicking them out of your house. So if something happens that would force you to take control of your household and like, this is my space and what you're doing is very just offensive, so I need to ask you to leave. That's a different story than openly bringing you into my house because I know that I'm going to start stuff with you and then make a scene for the sake of making a scene and then dealing with that. It's the job of a host to be a warm, inviting presence for somebody because you are bringing them into your space. And whether you agree with them or not, try to have some sort of productive exchange. And then once it's time to leave the house, it's time to leave the house.
You're right. I know these two are time to leave.
Yeah, I think.
You know, she ain't waiting either. She's already out the door. Pre-existing over there.
What am I leaving?
He was talking about leaving the house. When it's time to leave, it's time to leave. And I know you're ready to go.
What house?
The house is an analogy, a metaphor for perhaps his studio.
She's the host of the party that's already picking up all the plates and like cleaning up and already running the dishes. And she said,
gathering.
"No, don't worry about me." Oh, okay. No, I think this is. I think it's time. I think
get
it's
the
time.
head stuff starts.
Yeah. So it's like,
oh no, you should make yourselves at home. Take your time. Good to see you, though, man.
Likewise,
my man.
I appreciate that.
I'm proud of this young man. You all support his show. I know I'm here every morning. I'm not just here to promote myself, though. I want you all to support our other hosts and shows on this channel. Zelina Maxwell has a new daily live show now from noon to 1 Eastern on this same channel. Check that out. Jorge is every Saturday.
No, your storage is full.
Okay. I know it is. That's terrible. So yeah, do all of that. We're ready to go. Any final thoughts from you? Okay, he's getting a little antsy.
I see you picking up the plates too, Andrew.
He's getting a little antsy too. He's bouncing. You know, he's moving.
Well, I thought I saw someone in the door before, which makes me antsy, but they went away. So
this is your space. You got to stop surrendering your space to other people. Okay.
I feel that way a lot about studios. I'm very territorial about, especially my studio.
No, because folk punky. They come take it from you.
Yeah.
You know, run you out, but they don't have no more business. And then company around who are not even on scales, they just come and take space. So you got to watch that too. Folks are slick. All right. If all minds are clear, it has been made plain, y'all.